Good morning. As some of you know, elderly people need to be sent out to retirement home, either because their family needs to work and are not able to provide for them, or they might just want to have their own place, but they are not able to take care of themselves. But when you apply to these places, they don't tell you the negative things about it, and it's because they want to make money. Today, I want to reveal to you the negative aspects of living in a senior retirement home. I want to reveal this aspect to you because I myself work in a senior retirement home, and every day I see this negative aspect. The first negative aspect is the hygiene problem. There are 3 hygiene problems I want to reveal to you. First one is scabies. According to WebMD, scabies is a condition of very itchy skin caused by tiny mice that burrow into your skin. They are highly contagious, and the cure for them is medicines and cream. So this is what scabies look like, and you can't see them. You can only see the reaction they do to you, and it sort of looks like a rash. Many of them, you can't tell if it's a rash or a scabies. So every time somebody has a rash, they right away have to go check them out and make sure they don't have scabies, because then it will spread out to everybody. The second are bed bugs. As stated in EPA.gov, bed bugs are a pest feeding of blood, causing itchy bites and generally irritating the human host. These bugs can be found anywhere since they travel and multiply quickly. They can be eliminated with a complete chemical disinfection. This is what a bed bug is like, and they're really small, sort of like lake bugs. They typically grow the more blood they get into their holes. They grow bigger, and you can tell by the color of their skin that they suck somebody else's blood, because inside is clear, and when they grow they look like that. They're full. They do bite, so when somebody has bed bugs, they can see that they have the bite, or you can plonk them in their bed or anywhere in the room. The third problem is that illness are easily passed on. It can be something simple as a cough, and then it generally turns into like maybe flu or bronchitis. Everybody else gets it. So if someone's sick, they have to really take care of them, and make sure that somebody else can get it. These problems are generally caused by the places they already go to, such as programs outside the facility and even hospitals, because where they go, there's bacteria, and somebody else could have had them in the hospital or their program, and it just it comes with them. So when they go back, it starts passing on to everybody. The second negative aspect is that in some facilities, the residents, they don't get the care they need. There's a lot of neglect and abuse going on. And when neglect, I mean by their general care, like showering them, feeding them, and dressing them even. There's also abuse, like physical abuse, mental abuse. And the third negative aspect is that they don't have any privacy, and they're at risk of getting their things stolen or misplaced. Unless they can afford a private room, they have to share a room with somebody else, and they have to deal with their roommate, even if you don't like them. They might move you, but they don't know, and you have to deal with their roommates, family members, and even friends. And getting their things stolen, that has become big issues. Other workers have been fired because of that, and not everything always gets stolen. Sometimes things get misplaced because there's so many people that live there that they have to wash their clothes or clean their room, and if they don't put them in the right bag, then things get lost because they have to keep track of everything that's there, and if they're not organized about it, then they get lost. As you can see, these factors add up, and it's a very crucial decision for elderly to choose where they want to live. Some of them, they don't want to be there, but they don't have no choice. So next time you hear about people talk about retirement homes, then you already know. Thank you.
All right, Stephanie, since you're stepping into the spot, what did you think?
I don't know if the beginning, because she presents a preview, and I think it was good. I don't know if that was her attention grabber, but it kind of looked like it was. And then she presents her main point clearly, and her photos were effective, and she has good transitions. I think she doesn't really say any sources, and she did look at the audience, and at the end she restates her faces. So I think that was good.
Okay. All right. It's not showing up. It's right there, but it's... Oh, sorry. If the attention device makes it sound like all elderly people ultimately get shipped off to the homes, I think you need to talk, provide us with some statistics. What percentage of people over a particular age, for instance, live in these kinds of homes? What percentage of people live in homes where these kinds of things go on? How frequently does any of this occur? There just needs to be a little bit more research here. Your personal experience, I think, helps give you some credibility, but it's kind of strange because you've got the personal experience, but then you never give us any examples or illustrations from your time working there. For instance, you don't tell us about Mrs. Jones who ended up with scabies and nobody paid any attention to it for 3 weeks until you pointed it out to the supervisor, or Bob Smith who had his wedding ring stolen from him, and you suspect that it was taken by just a demented other resident, or it was stolen by one of the orderlies that was working there or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to rat somebody out, but you're telling us that you have experience on this, and we never get any details that sound at all like they are real examples. Everything stays at a very hypothetical level and a very abstract level. And we don't have any data that talks about how frequently those kinds of things occur. So you mentioned scabies and bed bugs, for example. Well, is that in all facilities? Is it inevitable in any facility? Because at the beginning you made it sound like all elderly people end up in this, and I guess they all go through this crap, whether or not... And I'm not sure that that's the case. I'm sure that there are some places that are better than others. I'm sure that places that do experience these things clean them up as quickly as possible. Does that mean that everybody in the place gets those kinds of things? I think that's a little bit problematic. That third section on the first point where you're talking about people getting sick because they're around other people who are getting sick, I think everybody knows that one. It's like that's why you don't come to school when you're sick, because you do, and all the rest of us are going to end up sick. Don't come if you guys have anything contagious. If I haven't said it before, I don't want you in class. Because I don't want to get sick, you know?
You want me to leave?
Are you contagious?
I have allergies.
Allergies won't bother me, that's okay. Okay, stick around with your allergies, blow your nose, you know, and live with that, that's okay. But if you've got some kind of infection, I don't want you spreading swine flu or bird fever or any of those kinds of things. All right, the visuals are okay in the first section because they talk about the two maladies that you've got. You don't really have anything on that third point, and when you get to the next point, you don't have, like I said, there's no statistical information, so you don't visualize anything statistically. I guess you could show us a picture of somebody who had lost property or ends up wearing somebody else's clothes or something. I don't know. I'd have to be creative about that. You'd have to, again, this is one of those places where I think you would have a little bit more information because of your experience working there. I think you need to be a little bit more energetic while you're speaking. You know, you're kind of going through the presentation and you need to, I think you do okay talking to us, but I think you need to be a little bit more personable when you're talking to us instead of just trying to get through the speech. You need to kind of connect with the audience a little more. And we're going to talk about that more in this next section. All right, let's stop there.